We're going to take a look at a private hire booking and dispatch system. This trial pack comes with an installation disc, we can see here. We also get a quick start user guide. There's also an activation key here on the accompanying letter, we'll need this in a moment. And then a printed user guide. We'll see here that this contains lots of screenshots and information about using the program. The trial pack contains a number of demo bookings shown here. We'll remove these one at a time simply by allocating to each driver. Simply select the booking, select the driver, allocate the booking, and then each one will move in turn from the lower part of the screen to the upper part. The allocated jobs in the upper part of the screen we can then remove completely by selecting each one and then select clear the job. We'll do this for each one in turn until we finally clear all the jobs from the screen, and then we can start adding our own new jobs. Now we'll take a look at program configuration and settings. Here on the left we've got the name and address of our business as it will appear on invoices and statements, and to the right we can enable various options. One of those is a caller ID system if we have this installed. We'll come back to that. And then on the next page we can set different rates of charge for drivers and invoices. We can customize our invoices by clicking a button here. We can see that there are coloured sections that we can customize. The invoice then, here's a cover page, will then contain all our own customized items of text. And when we're happy with that, we can then update the settings and close this. So now we can start adding drivers and vehicles to the system. We begin with a new driver record. Simply fill in each section in turn. We'll need the driver's name and address, his driving license details, insurance details, and we can also add costs that we'll add to the circuit fee each week and any commission charges that we might have for invoiced work. Store that record, and then we can create a new vehicle record to go with it. So again, filling in the sections in turn, we will be able to specify the specification of the vehicle, and then we can come down to select the default driver. In this case it's our new driver, and then to select the keeper, which will be the same driver, and store that record. Now we'll log on our new driver and vehicle. Here simply select log driver, select the driver in the list. Here he is, Don Bradley on the right, and click the button and there he is logged on. We can see highlighted here at the top of the screen. So now we can begin adding new records for our account customers. Here we start with the new record for Redmond Engineering Limited. Simply fill in each section in turn, beginning with the name of the business and also the invoice address, and then we will put in contact details, and we have a customized section here for any text that we put on their invoices. So now we can create a new booking for our account customer. Simply select the name of the customer from the drop down list, then select the vehicle, and we can put in the pickup date and time, and then finally we'll put in the address. So unit 23, and as we type in Alpha Trading Estate, we find the program tries to find a match to save us typing it all. It doesn't find that, so later it will ask for us to store this as a new pickup address. Simply keep typing the first line of the pickup address. Then we can go to the drop-off point, which in this case is an airport drop. If we put in the customer's postcode, CR1, and then select the airport, in this case Gatwick, the program tells us the distance for the journey will be 28 miles. We can now go and set the invoice price over here, and by clicking calculate the journey distance, it tells us the price of the journey based on the figures we put into our system configuration earlier. So now finish with the passenger name, in this case Mr. Grimes, and he's only one passenger to pick up, and then we'll put in any notes that we need. In this case a large suitcase, so we need to know this, and when everything's complete we can then save this booking, and immediately the program asks us if we want to save Alpha Trading Estate as a new pickup place. We'll put in a second line of the address, and then we can store that record ready for use next time, and then the booking is complete. So now we can see the booking on our screen here. We can allocate the job to a driver, and then we can clear this from the screen here, and the booking now will be ready for invoicing. So now we're ready to invoice this booking to our account customer. Select Prepare Invoices, and we can see here in the list our booking is waiting processing. Before we send it to the invoicing print routine, we're going to change some prices. Here we're going to add a parking charge in and a waiting fee. We'll do this also for the driver section, so the driver gets paid, and then update that booking, and it's now ready to be processed. So we send this to the print run, and we'll select here the only item in that print run. So this is ready to be generated. Click the button, and the invoice now will be produced in the background, and here it is in the list, ready to be printed. We can preview the invoice before we print it. This is what it will look like, and then when we're happy with that, we can go ahead and select our printer and produce a copy ready to be mailed to the customer. So now we're ready to create a recurring booking template. This will be for a school run, and it will be invoiced to the Malton Borough Council. That's the account we created earlier. Simply select that from the list, and now we can begin putting in the details of the booking. Here it's going to be a pickup for a passenger by the name of Gary Dunford. We'll put in their 8 o'clock pickup, and then we'll put in his address. So 74 Green Acres Drive. And then we'll put in the destination it's going to, so that's going to be Dingle Secondary School. And with this being a return booking, we will put in a pickup time then for the return journey, so that's going to be 3:30. And then we'll simply copy the pickup and the destination addresses over, so we create a booking for the return. We can now put in our prices for the invoice and for the drivers section. And when we're happy with the template, we can save this, and we can begin creating all the other templates to follow. So now we're ready to create our school run bookings. First we'll put in a start date for the period that we're going to work with. This could be the first of the month, for example, and then we'll pick out the template that we're going to use, and then specify which dates we actually want these bookings for. We can pick them at random for a whole monthly period, click a button, and we generate all the bookings. Go back to our list of templates, we can see here we have quite a few, and then select the next one. We have the same date selected, click the button, we'll build all the bookings again for that particular passenger, and then we keep doing this until we've built up all the bookings we need for that period of time. So now we're ready to process these bookings, ready for invoicing. Here we can see in the bookings control screen we have a list of jobs for successive days. Now we simply select each job in turn and select the driver, then allocate the job, only this time we have the option of selecting dispatch and clear. We can do this much more quickly than the previous method, and once we get through the whole list, then these bookings will be ready for invoicing. So now we're ready to go ahead and invoice all these school run bookings. Simply select Prepare Invoices, and we have a list now of the bookings that are all ready to be sent to the print routine. So we simply select each one and send it through to the print routine. So if we now go to the printing section, we can generate a preview of each of the reports. We have a total of 3, including a conventional invoice here with the cover page, and then followed by subsequent pages with each journey. We have a second one here with a summary of journey charges, so each journey multiplied by the number of journeys and then the costings. And then thirdly we have a breakdown of every journey that's contained within that summary in more detail. So when we're happy with that, we can then go ahead and generate this invoice. Simply click one button. This, all the reports are built in the background, and then of course we can print each one or email to our customer. Now we're going to create a driver weekly account. So here we're going to select the driver we put in earlier, Don Bradley, and straight away the form that comes up asks us for a start and finish date. So if we put in a start date, it will then automatically add 7 days to that to give a full week, and we can click the button here to calculate how much work that driver has done. So in the upper section we have here a charge at £85 for circuit, which we will deduct from any money that is due to this driver, plus any other fees that are applicable. And then as we go down through the lower section, we can see here we have charges for cash work, invoice and credit card payments. So the commission levels that we put in earlier, of 5% commission, means that the driver will be paying us commission on his cash work, and we will be deducting 5% commission from invoice work and so forth. And then finally over on the right hand side we have a detail of how the commissions and costings are arrived at, and that will then give us an overall figure payable to the driver. Here we can get a preview of a very detailed report containing all those figures. This we can print off quite easily, and we can then store this weekly account and come back to it and reprint it at any time. We also have a second report that we can generate, only with more detail. Here we can go to the driver earnings and commission report, put the same dates in again, and select the same driver. So now this shows us again our 5% commission fees that we've added, and when we preview the report we can see here that we have every job that this driver has completed compiled into sections, so that we have now the cash jobs and the invoice jobs all combined into their own sections, and with the costings also totaled up. So this also can be printed off and used for reference. Here's a simple caller ID device that we'll use to enable the caller display facility on our system. To enable the caller ID facility, just select the option in the system configuration and update the settings. So now with caller display enabled, the system will listen for incoming calls. Here we just have to click on one button. The booking form then comes up with the phone number already in it. We simply fill it in and store as normal. Here we'll see the booking now in our control screen. If we then make another call from this same number, this time the program will identify the incoming number but also find the customer's details and copy those into the new booking form here, ready to be stored for the next time. Here we have a mobile modem, sometimes referred to as a dongle. We can plug this into a USB socket on our computer and use it to send and receive text messages. Software installation begins automatically when the modem is plugged in. Here we see it's ready for use now. Here the system will test the compatibility of this modem to make sure that everything works the way it should, and when this is all complete it will configure and save all those settings automatically. So now we'll send a text message to our customer. Here simply select the booking, click one button to bring up the messaging form. Automatically the message has been formulated to fit, and click one more button and the message has been sent. Here it is arriving on the recipient's handset. The modem can also listen for text messages received.